Okay, hi guys, and welcome to this week's Material Musings. And this is a culmination of 3 weeks of working on fabric and looking at stamps that I had. And this is only really a small selection of the stamps. And I also worked on paper as well. Because what I like to do is when I've got a lot of, when I've used it on the fabric, if you try it on paper, there's usually some of the ink left. So what we're going to do is look at the fabrics. We're not doing a project today, but I wanted to maybe think about some ideas as to what they could be used for, and then tell you some of the other things that are happening and going to be happening in November, which is quite cool. And so I've been going through all my stamps. So this is not really representative of all the stamps that I own stamped on fabric. I just went through some of them and shared some of the clear stamps, the wooden stamps, handmade stamps, my art foamies, which are nestled under a couple of boxes at the moment, and they're not neglected, they're just waiting to be used on a project. I've just used them so much, it's just like I can't even keep up with myself. Anyway, so as I say, I'll just do a fabric flip through of some of the stamps. Some of these, like this one, was a free stamp in a magazine. And what I've done with these three is I then went on and used some of my inks and distress inks and added some colour to them. And I actually did it afterwards. So I think some of the stamps where I didn't use a permanent, the permanent ink on the stamp, then you get a little bit of bleeding, but it's fine because I'm going to be cutting some of these up anyway and using them in, you know, as I say, smaller projects, because you sometimes just even want a hint of something, just something different. And you know, you might not even cut out this whole thing and use it. I might just cut part of it because I just want the heart. Yeah, so I coloured these ones, and yeah, I like the way they turned out. And it's now given the stamps that I had, that I was sitting on, a new lease of life in projects. And I might come back and think, oh, I really like this stamp which says a bird doesn't sing because it has an answer, it sings because it has a song. And that's by Maya Angelou. And then I'd had another small stamp that said inspire. So I really like this image here. We've got some cartoonish looking birds here. So again, you know, I could decide what projects I want to put them in. These were some ones that we made. So I showed you how to, from a wooden, you can sometimes get those wooden shapes, and I had leaves, and I just added some foam to them, and now I've got these stamps that I never had before, and using recycled material as well. And this is my handmade stamp from foam, and here's another one. And then using objects, that this was for one of those letter things, you put the letters in and then you stamp, and yeah, again, just using what you have. I could put this in or stitch this to something and then use it as a journaling spot, or stamp another little message. Like I've got these stamps: friendship is a gift, tried and true, all you love. But it's getting them out, using them. You may not know what you want to use it for, but you're using them at a later date, and then inspiration might strike then, and so, you know, you're able to make the most of them. And here's another kind of the stamp that this came with. So this was the stamp, and it came with a thing surrounding it, which is this. So I took the middle bit out and I used that. I love the shape as well, and I don't use them often enough. And then I took the shape that it was in and made a stamp from that. More word stamps. The word stamps that these came from, it was disintegrating. So again, if you don't use them over time, you will lose them depending on the climate you live in. And this one as well, some made from foam. These ones I didn't think would come out very well, but they have. And again, you've just got a nice shape that you can use. Some letters, again, these were disintegrating. And if I started to take each individual letter out, it would just crumble basically. So just stamped it on, and then I've got, just something that adds to the background, and then I could do layering on top, which is nice. And with the papers, these are tea-dyed, tea-dyed, and so I just, the excess, just put it on the paper. And even this one was after I'd stamped, and I thought, oh, there's nothing left on it, and I got a really good print of that. Okay, so what can you do with them? Really, basically anything. I've been using a lot of recycled materials in my pieces. And if you saw, we're doing Making Zen at the moment. So if you saw my session on Making Zen, you would have seen these lovely guys. So in the video we make this, but I give you the owl template and a bird template, and you can make them as well. Yeah. And it incorporates slow stitching, collage, fabric collage, painting, and beading, and then we found a word to go on there as well. But if you look at these, it actually does look like it's a cohesive piece of fabric, but it's actually scraps of fabric, and they use scraps of fabric and we stitch, yeah. And these can very well lend themselves to that kind of thing. You can tear them up and rip them up. That is quite solid, so you'd have to cut it slightly and then rip it. But you can use it in terms of, smaller scraps, or you can cut out the shapes themselves and use them in pieces. And this could also be like, if I took another small frame, which I might actually try, and then use that as the base that you then work on, you've now already got a background and you can build on it and stitch on it as well. Yeah. The other thing that I was looking at is I'm in the process of, I'll say in the process of completing, yeah, I'll show you the other thing afterwards. It's related to Making Zen. Anyway, so I'm in the process of completing Kawandi. I've kind of done the outside bits, and I've got this middle section to fill now. So I'm just getting, let's see if I can come out even more. Yeah, oh, okay. So yeah, this is the biggest one that I've done so far. And should we see how much it measures? Let's see. 25 by, hold on, 19. 25 by 19. So it was actually like, I don't know, small table, but a small table cloth. But I've I avocado dyed it, and we've got a really nice pattern on the back. And it's not your traditional kawandi. I'm inspired by working on kawandis. So this particular one doesn't have the middle layer. Yeah, and then I've just got all the fabrics that I like, or that I have, and I've added them. And I'm using white embroidery thread, sorry, white crochet thread as well, to stitch. So I chose not to have the middle section because I felt it was quite thick material, and then the material that I'm using as well in terms of working around it is fairly thick as well. And these are all, I think you call them vintage, because I've had them for quite a long time. This is probably, these two are probably the oldest. And then I've just gathered the rest over time. Yeah, and this one, these were my favourites when I was, when I was younger. Younger than today. Yesterday I was younger than today anyway. But yeah, they're probably the oldest, a good 20 odd years that I've had the fabrics, initially wanting to make clothes out of them, and then I started collecting fabric over the years, and it was just like I collected sewing machines as well. Anyway, so yeah, so I thought that I would put some of these in here. So I would cut them up and then just randomly select as I go around, and eventually it would and I would probably use some of the colors as well. And I could decide, I'm just putting it like this so that I can see roughly how many I'll use. So it'll probably be I would say about 4, but I can rip up, yeah, I'll probably rip up about 4, and yeah, use these, say, colours, and then not obviously put them like this. They would be spaced out, and I'll try and intersperse them with maybe some of these other ones, if not just these, and just have the middle section with the handmade, with the stamping anyway. Yeah, so I kind of like that idea. As I say, it's my the biggest one, so it's taking just a little bit longer, and then I'd put it in my sewing bag and forgot about it, and then I realised that I've got a few projects in there that I'd forgotten about that I need to finish off, and that's probably what I'll try and do for the rest of this month if I could. But I have been doing some of the Making Zen classes, and I've also been doing some of the fodder challenge, which, did I do a fabric one? No, I didn't. I am working on another fabric project for something else though, and I can give you a sneak peek next month. Okay, so let me show you the other piece. I have to bring it back out. So this piece I've been working on over time, and I decided to add some beads around the outside edge. So I'm stitching these on, and then I'm thinking about where else to add beads if I want, and also the backing. So I still haven't yet found or decided what backing I'm going to use, how I want it to finish off. Or what I might do is put it on canvas, stitch it to a canvas. And that then brings me to share the, if you decided to take the VIP option on Making Zen, I think it may have gone up by now, but after the end of the month, I think there may be a grace period of 2 days where it's still available, but it's now available at the increased price, but it's still, if you do get the VIP, you get 30 resources from the other artists, and then you'll also get the Making Zen videos, the videos on the 5-day retreat. It's looking a bit wonky in it. So so if you miss that and you don't go for it, you can still get my Stitched Folk class, which you would create these pieces. Well, this one is the one that we work on in the class. And so, as you can see, we've got recycled materials, we've got beading, slow stitch, a bit of mark making, painting, and I love the way they turned out. And I'm definitely going to be making some more. And this was the other one, a variation. And you also get 2 images that you can work from, or you can decide if you've got your own image that you want to work with, you can, but you have these available that you can use in the class. And it's a very different experience working on a canvas board, but I guess it's similar to working with, you know, the hoop, embroidery hoop. But yeah, I really enjoyed working straight on there and creating this piece, and then the beading, that's also a lovely activity for me. But yeah, this is the one that you would be creating in the session. And here's one I made earlier. So you can vary it as you wish. So the other things that I have been making is for the Making Zen. Where is it now? Here it is. So I did Amy Markle's class, and I created these. I put it in here because I've still got more to fussy cut. Oh, okay. And so I've got these flowers, and then I did some other shapes, smaller shapes, and I did another shape and some leaves, and we've got the watercolor effect on there as well. So these will be nice in you know, art journal projects. I've got a little art journal here. It's paper, but I was thinking, I think it woke me out of my sleep about working so simple, and then I could do some journaling, so you can put them anywhere. Yeah, it woke me up out of my sleep, and I was thinking about stitching flowers like these, and it was just like, oh, really? At 2 o'clock in the morning? And sometimes inspiration does strike you, and you just have to, you know, write it down so you can come back. So that is what I did for Amy's class, and then I did Bev Henry's class, and she made the like snippets. Now, so I made this one, and I thought to myself, I've done it from cheesecloth, and then I added loads of scraps, and then I've added some embellishments, and then I was thinking, oh, do I want it smaller? So I'm thinking I'm going to leave it as is, and if a project arises where I think, oh, I need a strip, then I can cut it and then stitch down the edge. But as is, it's just, yeah, it's fine as it is. So those are the 2 I've done so far in Making Zen. I'm trying to get round to do as many as I can this week. But then obviously, you know, that's the beauty of the VIP pass. You don't have to rush through it. You can take your time. It is nice, I guess, to be, you know, working with others and sharing you know, okay, this week we're sharing these 2 projects, but I guess because, you know, we've got 6 projects each day for the next few days, but we're still sharing. So, you know, over on our Facebook group, we're sharing work that we've done. So this is right up my street because I love, you know, creating little bits of fabric, bringing them together, preparing them like this, in the sense where, you know, you're playing on it and then you come to another project and it's just the perfect thing that you need for a project. And it's similar to this. I have to hold it carefully because I was looking at some beads that I wanted to add to this. So this is another little one that I did in my class, Stitched Folk. You have the choice of doing it on a canvas, or you can do it on, this is just upholstery fabric, so a heavier fabric, and then, you know, you could do the image. I created the image and then cut it out of another piece of this white cotton, and then added additional bits. So what I was saying in terms of, you know, you get gathering scraps of fabric and then adding them to a project and slow stitching, and it actually makes things look really cool. So this one, I'm thinking I'm going to add these beads. There's a necklace there, so I want to do that. And then I had these as well. I think I was sent these, and I've got similar, so I'm going to add them down the side just to brighten it up a bit, and then find a backing for them. And then the last piece that I will share with you, that I've shared on my Instagram, I haven't talked about it yet, is my felted figure. Now, I'll probably do like a mini course on felted figures. I've done quite a few so far, and I loved, again, this is on canvas, and I felted the figure first, and then we add the slow stitching and all of this deliciousness. And I like the way it turned out. The hair is actually, you know, like hair extension, and it's been plaited, and I'm going to be adding some additional decoration, so that will probably be in the form of beads. So I'm looking now for my beads. She was gonna have, it was modelled on my Encozy figure that I designed, and the hair, this has been stitched in place now, but previously I was creating chiny bumps, or Bantu knots, they're also they're known as, and then I did a series where she had beads, so it was just like it felt right, but then it didn't feel right. I wanted her to have the beads so badly because when I was younger, that's what I used to do to my hair. I used to put it in extensions, and then it was so heavy with the beads. But I think I might have a photograph of me with my hair. I'll have to see if I can find it. But yes, so this is the piece that I've done. So if you're interested, I'll probably have a pre-sale, and you can sign up, and then when it's ready, when the class is ready, if you're interested in purchasing, then you can, and we'll do a variety of, or maybe 2, maybe not so large, but the process of creating it, and it looks 3D, you know. We've got, let me see if you can get it there, kind of. Well, the face is raised, and this bit is all raised, and then we've got the behind the detail behind. So that is the things that I've been getting up to. It's been a busy time, and November's going to be a busy time as well. And I'm also sharing on Patreon, so if you want to see early release, look there. Yeah, that's so much better. So you can see, and it takes time, but you're creating an a kind of 3D effect, and then the other additional things that you add will help with that as well. So yes, if you want to see early release on my Patreon and check out some of the other tiers, I'm going to be sharing more and more kind of stitch projects, and I also share like digital downloads and what I do with those. And also on YouTube I have a membership, so they get early release as well, but they don't get all the perks that they get. The early release videos, but not all the perks that the patrons get. But you can join us there, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, why not? You'll be notified anytime I upload a new release. So we're gonna be working on some really nice projects next month, so I hope you join me. And you know, this is the time to be digging through your stash and seeing what you've got, seeing what you've been holding on to, seeing what you need to start using. I mean, even though I've created all of these, I do need to start using them. So they'll be dotted around some of my pieces. And I hope that you have a blessed week, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.